Her mom, Nija, says it's difficult to give Gabby the attention she deserves, even while working remotely from home.
I do suffer from the mommy guilt part, of course, because I want to be able to be there and give her my best, but sometimes you're so tired.
Groner has a few tips to help moms deal with what she calls mom guilt. Spend individual quality time with your kids during their breaks. Know that they don't need you constantly, and you can take a pause on your personal or professional goals. It's okay not to push yourself to the max.
I want to be very good at lots of things, and right now I feel like I'm not very good at anything.
So many women experiencing that right now. One other piece of advice from parenting expert Susan Groner: you don't need to go overboard with fancy, elaborate plans when spending time with your kids. It's more about the quality of the time you spend together. That does it for 11 Alive News at 11:30, but we have much more coming up on 11 Alive News at noon.
11 Alive News at noon starts now.
After President Trump vows to cease COVID relief talks until after the election, he makes an apparent late-night about-face. What this could mean for you. And a major development in the search for a mother of two who went missing over the July 4th weekend. 58 days, that is how long it's been since Governor Brian Kemp and DPH Director Dr. Kathleen Toomey gave a public update together on the state's fight against COVID-19. Until today. 11 Alive's Nick Sturdivant was there for this morning's update at the state capitol.
At this morning's press conference, the governor really highlighting what has went well for the state over the past few months, even going on to say that the state has made great strides. He was joined by the state's top doc, Dr. Kathleen Toomey, also the First Lady. According to Governor Kemp, cases in the state are down 64% compared to July 24th. He also said that people in the hospital with COVID is down by 60%. Nearly 9% of people in the hospital statewide have COVID-19. The governor did not directly address deaths statewide, which according to DPH's website, the state is now up to more than 7,000 deaths. As far as the state's economy, the governor says between July and September, there was a 50% increase in new jobs. But one of the things that Kemp and Dr. Toomey said has become a part of the COVID response is now the push for people to get flu shots.
This is particularly important this year. We're trying to prevent twindemics of COVID plus influenza, which could be devastating.
And you have to remember, we still are reopening our economy. We still have more kids going back to school. So for us to have a small bump in cases at a defined period of time, if you look at our 2-week average, I think we're still in great shape.
And the state has even launched a campaign when it comes to flu and COVID-19 prevention. The message going into the fall from Governor Kemp and Dr. Toomey is to wear masks, to social distance, to continue to wash your hands, and to follow guidelines.
We also keep an eye on the daily coronavirus numbers, and there are positive signs from a new White House COVID task force report. It finds the state is making progress reducing the spread of COVID. This comes as the state reported more than 900 new cases yesterday. Now it shows we are simply not testing enough. That's especially true for colleges and universities and the nearby communities. The report also points to more Georgians going out to restaurants and other public areas. Turning now to Washington, D.C., where President Trump is still battling COVID-19 and the possibility of another round of stimulus payments remains in limbo. On his first full day back at the White House, after spending 3 nights at the hospital, the president abruptly stopped negotiations on coronavirus relief for struggling Americans. But then in a late-night tweet, he appeared to reverse course. Tracy Potts has more on what this means for you.
Stimulus deliberations shut down in the middle of a pandemic by a president recovering from COVID-19. He first tweeted that negotiations are off until after the election. The stock market took a nosedive.
Clearly, this is a huge shock to the system. We know millions of Americans are out of work and they're depending on another stimulus check.
Then, in an apparent reversal, the president said he's ready to sign off on stimulus checks and billions for airlines and small business loans. The White House explaining the big deal is off, but the president wants to deal with each issue separately. Still contagious, Mr. Trump says he's planning to attend the presidential debate in Miami next week.
We have to ask if the stress of a debate is really worth taking along with the infectious implications of that potentially to the people in the debate.
The president's posts comparing COVID to the flu were taken down by Facebook and flagged on Twitter.
You don't get a pandemic that kills 1 million people, and it isn't even over yet with influenza. So it is not correct to say it's the same as flu.
At least 18 people tied to the White House have now tested positive. The latest, advisor Stephen Miller. At the Pentagon, defense officials tell NBC the Joint Chiefs chair and other top brass are quarantined after a Coast Guard official caught the virus. 7 of the 8 Joint Chiefs who were in a meeting with that admiral have quarantined, along with the director of the National Security Agency. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
The first and only vice presidential debate is happening tonight. Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris will face off in Salt Lake City, Utah. A number of COVID-19 safety measures will be in place, including plexiglass barriers between the candidates. The Commission on Presidential Debates approving it all. Pence and Harris will stand about 12 feet apart, double the recommended distance. You can watch the debate right here on 11Alive. NBC News will have special coverage beginning at 7 p.m. with the debate beginning at 9. And then, of course, be sure to stick around for Up Late starting at 11. Hurricane Delta making landfall this morning in Mexico as a Category 2 hurricane. Chesley McNeil joins us now with more on its impact there and the potential track here.
Yeah, we will be making its way further off to the north and could have an impact on our area. But right now, those winds are down to about 105 miles per hour as the storm is set to now move back into the Gulf. You're looking at northwest winds, or moving northwest at about 17 miles per hour. Now, the eye itself is just about there, right, moving back over those warmer waters. And because we have low shear here, we're anticipating the storm increasing in strength as it continues to pull further off to the north. Now, if there's some good news for us, we got the latest track from the Hurricane Center, and it's looking like it'll be moving a little bit further to the west and making landfall closer, at least, to the Texas-Louisiana border, which means less rainfall for us. But we will see that rain, and it will probably be around, or likely be around, as we head into the weekend. Right now, not that much going on outside, except for the sunshine, plenty of it. If you have plans to go outside, get out there and enjoy it. Temperatures are warming up as well. 77 degrees right now in Atlanta. We got it in Marietta over toward Duluth. 75 degrees in Canton. 69, the cool spot up in Blairsville. 79 degrees down in Thomaston. Got 78 over toward LaGrange. So temperatures will heat up to the 80s this afternoon. I'm thinking 83 degrees. Your forecast high temperature for today, even warmer for tomorrow, as a few more clouds will move back into the forecast area. So we got some changes coming our way. That rain chance starts on Friday and really starts to get wet for Saturday and Sunday. That's the way it looks right now. I'm going to show you the latest path from the Hurricane Center and the full forecast coming up, and time it out hour by hour when it could arrive here.
New developments involving the disappearance of a young mother who vanished over the 4th of July weekend. The GBI says investigators found a body inside of a car belonging to Natalie Jones in Heard County, but they can't confirm it's her just yet. Jones' family says local authorities have told them it is her. Heard County investigators say the mother of 2 was last seen in Alabama on July 5th with her hot pink 2002 Chevrolet Cavalier. Jones's sister told us all activity stopped on her social media and her bank accounts. Late last month, a petition started online asking a grand jury to investigate Jones's ex-boyfriend, who is currently in the Troup County Jail on an unrelated charge. The family says they did not start the petition, but they do support investigating anyone possibly connected to Jones and her disappearance. A $10,000 reward is now on the table for any information leading to an arrest for the murder of a well-known local actor. Atlanta police say Thomas Byrd was shot to death Saturday off of Belvedere Avenue. There's no word on a motive or who his killer is. Byrd, who was 70 years old, is well known for starring in several films by director Spike Lee. Facebook is taking a big step to get rid of disinformation campaigns aimed at swaying the presidential election here in the United States. Both Facebook and Instagram are removing all accounts associated with the right-wing conspiracy theory known as QAnon. NBC's Tom Costello has the latest from Washington.
It's a serious blow to the QAnon internet conspiracy campaign that most Americans would say sounds completely crazy. That big-name Democrats, Hollywood stars, and the mega-rich are actually child trafficking pedophiles who kill children in satanic rituals. In recent weeks, QAnon has targeted Joe Biden and suggested President Trump doesn't really have COVID. Now, Facebook says it's taking down all QAnon accounts, saying our dangerous organization's operations team will continue to enforce this policy and proactively detect content for removal instead of relying on user reports. Facebook acted after regular users complained.
The problem was a lot of users were getting harassed to the point they couldn't use Instagram or Facebook anymore. They were getting accused of being a part of this child-eating cabal.
QAnon followers believe someone named Q is deep inside the government, sending out coded messages and working with President Trump to dismantle the child abduction cult. And President Trump has promoted QAnon tweets and links.
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much.
Facebook owns Instagram, and this week Savannah talked to the head of Instagram about what they look at when deciding whether to remove content.
So for most of our policies around what we take down off of Instagram or Facebook for that matter, they're focused on the idea of safety.
The FBI labels QAnon a domestic terror threat. An early follower went to prison after firing a gun in a D.C. pizza restaurant, searching for a non-existent pedophile cult. Another man used an armored car to block traffic on the Hoover Dam. Aoife Gallagher analyzes extremist movements worldwide.
Why do you call it a digital cult?
It has made people become so disassociated with their lives and the people within their lives because it almost sends people into this alternative reality.
As you may recall, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the favorite to win Georgia's 14th district seat, has made headlines recently for outwardly supporting QAnon on social media. Coming up next, a new way Georgia elections officials are making sure your vote is counted and safe from fraud.
Noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97. Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast.
Election Day is now less than 4 weeks away, and early voting in Georgia begins on Monday, but already some people are growing worried that their vote won't get counted. Technology and mail issues are their big concerns. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger confirms there is a delay for some voters when it comes to receiving their absentee ballots. He says it is mostly in Gwinnett County. Voters there are getting their absentee ballots slower than in the rest of the state. He says because of a lawsuit filed earlier this year asking for larger envelopes to provide clearer instructions. He says that slows down processing. Raffensperger blames the people who filed the lawsuit, saying in a statement these activists keep breaking the system and overwhelming county election officials, then blame those same workers when the system they broke fails. But no matter the reason, it's clear voters are frustrated.
So you're telling me I can't even correct any of my information? So my vote is already being suppressed.
I voted since I was 18 years old, and this is the first time in my life, and I'm over 70, that I've ever had trouble.
The Secretary of State says almost 1.5 million absentee ballots were requested this year, but only about 260,000 have been accepted. That means so far, only 16% have used it to vote. But for those opting to vote absentee, election officials are now offering an easy way to make sure your vote is counted. No stamp required. Liza Lucas explains.
There are 3 options for sending in your absentee ballot. You can mail, hand deliver to your county registrar's office, or use one of these, an absentee ballot drop box. And there are regulations to keep the process in check. Drop boxes must be video monitored. They also must be located on government or county property and accessible to the public. Rules also require drop boxes be made to prevent tampering and built to withstand vandalism or bad weather. Want to use this option? You don't need a stamp for a drop box, but you do need to use a box in the county you're registered to vote. State Election Board rules require ballots be collected at least once every 72 hours, then collected daily in the 8 days leading up to Election Day. Teams of 2 people who've sworn an oath, just like poll officers, will get the ballots. And rules require these ballots be immediately transported, processed, and stored, just like mailed absentee ballots. Drop boxes close at 7 p.m. on Election Day.
And drop boxes are available in most of Georgia's 159 counties from now through Election Day, November 3rd. You can find a list of locations by county on 11alive.com. It is beautiful outside, Mr. Chesley McNeil, and I know we are in the countdown to first pitch of that Braves game. A lot of people, they might even be going there, Truist Park, to watch the game.
Yeah, I understand that you can go inside of the stadium and watch the game as well. So social distancing, of course, folks. Wear your mask, you know, that kind of thing. All right, keep yourself nice and safe and enjoy the Braves beating up on the Marlins, right? We have a few clouds and a few bugs flying around our camera. See that? Having a good little time there. Some cumulus clouds starting to form out there, so we may wind up with partly cloudy skies a bit later on this afternoon as we get into the daytime heating. Of course, we'll be watching that. Radar looks clear, so I don't expect any rain to come out of those clouds at all today. Our rain chance really doesn't increase until we get toward the weekend, and now it's looking like it maybe pushed back a little bit later. We initially thought Thursday was when we were saying the rain was coming in earlier in the week, right? Now with the storm pushing a little bit further to the west, it could be Saturday, Sunday that we will receive the heaviest rain in our forecast area. 10 out of a possible 11 today on the whizometer, starting off in the 60s, of course. We'll get up to 83 for an afternoon high temperature today, again under mostly sunny skies is what we'll call it. You see more clouds over the central and southern portions of the state. High pressure is dominant over our area and has been for the last couple of days, so we've been sitting pretty. Things will change for us. By tomorrow, I'm expecting these clouds to move a little bit further off to the north, and so we'll wind up with mostly cloudy skies once we get toward the evening on Thursday. Hold on to it for Friday, and then that rain chance will start to pick up. Let's get back to Delta, Hurricane Delta, Category 2 hurricane right now, but you can see where the eye of the storm, the very center of circulation, is starting to move back over into the Gulf waters now. So, or I should say back, but moving back over to water, but into the Gulf, Gulf of Mexico. And so that's going to continue to slide up to the north. It's Category 2 now, got winds up to about 105 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 17 miles per hour. That's a pretty good clip there. If it continues that forward speed, that would be another good thing because it would move through areas very quickly, so it doesn't have time to dump a whole lot of rain like those slow-moving hurricanes. Now, it is forecast to become a Category 3 thanks to the warmer waters of the Gulf and low shear that would take place. Notice the landfall now is a little bit further to the west. This is the latest from the Hurricane Center. Just this morning, we had that cone of uncertainty extending further over toward the east that included New Orleans, but now it's back just a little bit further to the west. We'll continue and make landfall as a major hurricane. It's still forecast to make landfall as a major hurricane, Category 3 or 4, and then it will weaken a bit as it moves up toward the north and east. Notice it's even further north and west of us now, where only the northwestern corner of the state is in the cone of uncertainty by Saturday morning. Certainly by Saturday afternoon, a lot of that rain will be dragged over our way as well. So we're thinking Saturday going into Sunday right now would be the heaviest rain coming to us. The heavier rains will stay back off to the west around the area of low pressure. But we could see anywhere right now, we're talking 2 to maybe 3 inches of rainfall in our forecast area between, we'll say Friday and going into Monday. And so that's something that we have to watch out for, of course, from any flooding and also those winds picking up. As far as our forecast today, fine. Partly to mostly sunny skies out there. We'll start off that way on Thursday. And then by Thursday afternoon and evening, more of those clouds will start to move in. We'll have mostly cloudy skies to start the day on Friday, 30% chance for the rain. We'll give it a 50 to 60% chance for the rain on Saturday, and then Sunday it continues. That will be adjusted as we go along and that storm gets a little bit closer to our forecast area. We'll fine tune that for you. Wrapping up on Monday, 80 for the high. Should be out of the way by Tuesday. 78 will be your afternoon high temperature.
President Trump says he is, quote, looking forward to the second presidential debate in Miami next week. It's scheduled for October 15th, just 2 weeks after the president first started showing COVID-19 symptoms. According to the CDC, people suffering from the virus can still infect others up to 20 days after they first start feeling sick. President Trump's doctor says he is making progress in his recovery from COVID-19 and will continue to monitor how long the virus stays in his body. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden says there should not be a debate if the president remains positive. All of this comes as another Trump aide tests positive for COVID-19. The Trump administration confirming Stephen Miller is now battling the virus. And this gives you just a snapshot of Republican lawmakers and people in the president's inner circle now infected with the virus. That number up to at least 18. The White House says staff now wear full personal protective equipment. Staffers are also tested daily if they're in contact with the first family. As President Trump continues to recover from COVID-19, he's again comparing the disease to the seasonal flu. But top infectious disease doctor Anthony Fauci says it is not the same, explaining that while some early symptoms are similar, the potential outcome for COVID-19 can be very different.
The potential for what COVID can do is very, very much different from influenza. You don't get a pandemic that kills 1 million people, and it isn't even over yet with influenza. So it is not correct to say it's the same as flu.
Facebook removed the president's post while Twitter labeled it as misinformation. The CDC estimates that about 12,000 to 61,000 people in the U.S. die from the flu each year. More than 210,000 people have died from COVID-19. We crunched the numbers, and that's more than the past 5 years of flu deaths combined. Now, it has been a year of sacrifices because of the pandemic, right? We've all had to give up something. But if you're not ready to give up on Halloween just yet, we've got some tricks from health experts on how to stay safe this year.
Body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97. Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best.
Doctors at Emory want you to start thinking about how your family will celebrate Halloween during the coronavirus. Mara Sirianni shares safe ways the experts say you can keep things fun and spooky for the kids.
Well, this year you may not feel confident in sending your kids out to trick or treat or even to some of their favorite haunted attractions. But experts at Emory say there are ways that you can safely do some of these things. Emory University Dr. Colleen Kraft says, for starters, if you plan to host trick or treaters, use candy slides or grabber hooks to pass out candy. If your child wants to dress up, she says choose a masked costume. Use food service gloves to go through your child's candy. Set that bowl aside for at least a day to let any germs on the candy wrappers die. Or take this opportunity to start a new tradition like a neighborhood trunk or treat. Dr. Kraft says unless an event like a haunted house specifically advertises precautions, it's probably best to avoid.
I think if there's haunted paths outside or something that is sort of been intentionally created to keep some of that social distance, I think that those are okay. But I think if there's no indication that they're thinking about the pandemic in the orchestration of the haunted house, I think those should be avoided.
And Dr. Kraft says costume masks should work as long as they contain a cough or a sneeze. And if a costume doesn't require a mask, she definitely suggests incorporating one.
She has been through a lot since casting her first vote for FDR. Why she is not letting a pandemic keep her from voting this year.
Of Atlanta's biggest trials and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97. Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
A story of encouragement and empowerment to leave you with this afternoon. 102 years old and still fighting for her future. This picture of a retired teacher in Chicago dropping off her ballot in full PPE gear is going viral. B. Lumpkin was born before women had the right to vote, and this time she voted during the second pandemic of her lifetime. She's also a steelworker advocate.
Steel workers, never forget who we are. Vote about history.
B encourages everyone to get to the polls. Man, if she can find a way, what's your excuse? By the way, FDR was the first president she ever voted for. Pretty incredible, B. All right, thanks so much for joining us on 11Alive News at noon. We'll see you back here at 5 o'clock. Stay safe.
Who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97. Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATL.